Julian Carnell from the Shelton Trust. He's going to be receiving penalty for what he's doing here today. So it's your free will choice to participate, but you are being recorded. No worries, man. Yeah. Yeah, no worries, man. I'm just letting you know what you're in for. Yeah. Okay.
I am man on earth. Others call me Carl. Some call me Dad or Dada or Daddy. And I'm here to assist mankind's return to a lifestyle that is in harmony with nature and in alignment with natural law.
Natural law is universal, non-man-made, binding, and immutable conditions that govern the consequences of behavior, and specifically, at least on this planet, human behavior. I would say in the universe, it governs the behavior of all intelligent beings. Intelligent beings, okay? Natural law is a body of universal spiritual laws which act as the governing dynamics of consciousness. The governing dynamics of consciousness. That's the working definition.
You've trespassed, you've caused criminal damage. Well, we were thinking of it, but we were, you know, you'll be happy to be detained here by us in the meanwhile, and we'll be able to hand you over to them. You're happy with that?
If you wish to call the police, that's your right.
Well, it is actually our right to physically remove you with necessary lethal, not lethal force, but the necessary force that you're bringing to us. So if you just crashed your way in, unlawfully broken in, yeah? You're not allowed to unlawfully break in on people and just intimidate them into your will. Julian, is that your name? It is, isn't it?
Yeah.
So you're the man known as Julian in the world? All right, okay.
One guy in there, that's all.
No, well, it's interesting to see how a man operates in such a fashion. Do you not know how to live in peace and love with your neighbours? Do you not want to?
I just speak to my partner.
Because if you don't want to live in peace and love with your neighbours, you're really being rather hostile and violent. And you're the ones with the hostile violent activity here today. You do realise that? I know you stand in peace in your way. You've just cut your way, you've broken criminal damage, and now you're intimidating young children and their families in order for them to comply with some will of yours. They didn't invite you in here today. They don't want any work done on the electrics by you people. So actually you are trespassing and you're committing a criminal offence now. Please, would you mind going and leave inside?
We've noticed you 3 times now.
We have given you perfectly good notice now. Please.
We've noticed you 3 times.
We do need you to leave now. Please leave.
The vehicle's just outside the gate, and then we're going to go from there.
Absolutely. And if constables are being called, then fine, I'll talk to them.
Yeah,
they'll let you know what's
just doing
not.
a job, nothing's personal.
Well, jobbery impersonation is actually a criminal offence against I. So I'm noticing your fact. Yeah.
Okay.
I don't operate impersonation, and I won't have people frauding me and trying to tell me that they're doing their job when actually they're committing criminal offences. So would you mind please leaving now? Bye bye. Have a good day.
I remember standing right at the top of Ashbrington, which is just over there, and going, this is where we want to be. And we had no idea about any of the people and men and women that were on this land, and somehow we got drawn to this exact place at the exact time that we needed to be. And my mum's always been a fucking rebel, excuse my French. My mum's always been a rebel, and she just got ousted and ousted and ousted, and like from that I've never really been anyone that believes in the system, because we were let down by the system. So I just I feel like the land brings me closer to my heart, and the land brings me closer to myself, and then in return it brings me closer to people. So the realisation I had the other day was happy plants make happy places make happy people, and happy people make happy plants. So that's what we're doing. Yeah.
Is that Julian?
Yeah, that's Julian.
Oh, that's Julian.
I am a wild native man.
Come on.
Shouldn't be able to forcibly evict me.
No, you've been noticed 3 times to get
notice,
off.
brother.
3 times
Now
to
making
move off
hostile
it.
action.
No, don't you push me.
You're not allowed to
Don't you push me. You're not allowed to
do that, Julian.
You're not. You've been noticed to get off the property.
We would actually be able to
I heard what you
physically
said.
detain you,
Yeah,
but
well,
bring
you're
us off the
ignoring
gate
it
now.
then.
Do you want to do that? We could have just citizens arrest him. right here, right
Yeah,
now.
but let's not to. Just I think that's what he wants. No, you've been noticed 3 times.
You've been noticed.
Sorry, you're committing an offence against us. So we are asking you to leave, kindly, peaceably.
I don't really
You're
want to go there,
continuing
mate.
violent assault. It's your crime, not ours. Do you understand? You're making me upset. Peacefully. I'm due to find the place. You're being violent. You're intentionally being violently assaulting these people here. You're nearly giving me a heart attack, brother. Would you like to leave in peace before you cause me further harm, which you do not have right to do? You're a stranger to me, brother. I don't know you. Why do you want to do me harm here, mate? Why are you trying to do me harm, brother? My heart is racing. Yeah? You're giving me a heart attack, brother. This is doing me harm. You must leave. You have no right to do a man harm on the earth. You know this. Leave now, please. Please leave.
Yes,
No,
I do.
Just as we are. You can wait
I'm
for
not
your
in a-
people
I'm not in a
outside.
position to say that at the moment.
You're still causing us trouble, brother. And I appreciate that you're filming this, so we're not being hostile or threatening. But you do need to leave.
Yeah, so the no trespass signs disappeared. We've still got our white flag though, so that's good.
Got no idea what's coming, man.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I'll make another sign.
Yeah, we'll do another sign.
Do another sign. Unless you have the sign, then we would like it back. I was brought to Harpham through my dad, but also like through the feeling it gave me when I came here. So there was kind of this pull, this kind of energetic feel whenever I was walking around the site, and it felt like I belonged here, like there was something special here, and that kind of kept me coming back. So I kept on visiting my dad, and it kind of just started to change me gradually every time I came. And then obviously COVID hit and things became a lot more out in the open, and my mind was kind of blown by all the information that I was finding out, and obviously finding that the world isn't actually what it seems, and basically the lying to us about everything. And yeah, so that kind of pushed me back for a second, and just made me realise that what I was doing in Liverpool wasn't doing anything for me as man. Well, as man born female. And yeah, so I realised that, so I quit uni, quit my job, left my family in Liverpool and came to live here, and yeah, just started a new life in a caravan, and started to study a lot more into my own psyche, my own traumas and things, and started to learn about the world, the real world.
This man's going to maintain unlawful actions against us. We feel threatened, intimidated, and we need him to be suppressed in such behaviour.
Yeah.
Now, if they need to take him to court, Crown Prosecution Service, put an injunction on him, you know, just to leave you alone in peace until whatever civil action has been properly heard in the right venue of the right kind of court.
Yeah.
He hasn't even bothered to go to court. He hasn't got no papers for none of this.
No.
This is just him trying to act like an intimidating bully.
Yeah. We didn't know he was going to turn up today.
Western power.
To try and get you cut down.
No warning at all.
So what we've done here, I suppose, is since we've all got here, we realised we have a common form in our head of what it means to be here on Earth, and one of it, I think we all can all agree, is something called sui juris, which is before there was England, there was no laws or no legislation and acts that we had to abide by apart from do no harm, and as long as you're living peacefully, then you're not doing harm by any being, and you're creating abundance for all, then sui juris is a really good thing to live by, and as man we're trying to get close to the land, and that means we have to sort of step outside of the jurisdiction that they try and personify us in and create these images and personas which we're not. And so what we've done is we've staked our claim on the land here because we believe and feel in our hearts that it wouldn't have been used for anything what God would have intended it to be, which is to create abundance in gardens and plants and with animals, and teach children the right way to look after the earth, and that's what we want to do. So through communicating these fundamental principles that we have, which are moral, you know, we feel that we're doing the honourable thing here, and we've created all these gardens. There's like abundance growing compared to what was here. I remember if you look, there's a few videos ago, you could actually see you guys taking the hay bales out of here, and do you remember what it looked like then? It was like really barren and just looked kind of just rubbish, really. And yeah, so there's this beautiful little garden that we've been creating, and soon hopefully there'll be a little school here that kids can start learning some things as well, which would be really, really cool.
So no commercial activity is any interest of theirs. We're not breaching the peace over it, they did.
We're not doing any
So
commerce,
if they've got
are
a
we?
problem with electrics, then that's something to do with the civil court.
Yeah.
So why are they coming here and trying to break locks, criminal damage, intimidate, force their way in? And
3 trucks.
with 3 trucks and
Very
big burly men.
Yeah.
And out
It's
Yeah,
very,
yeah.
the number
out of hours.
is for the,
Yeah.
the reason.
Yeah.
No prior appointment, no official permission for,
No written notice.
and not even during office hours.
Yeah.
You know, when does Western Power do things at this time of night? Normally they turn up in the morning to do a job if it was official.
Yeah.
So I don't even know if that's official.
Yeah.
He could have just paid off a few of
Yeah.
his mates down at the pub who happen to work for Western to come over and do this.
Yeah.
We don't know.
100%.
We don't know, but these people
supper
are
time.
quite
Yeah.
happy to operate
100%.
impersonation
Yeah.
and jobbery. I
Yeah.
mentioned that. They didn't even seem to know what it meant.
Yeah.
And Julian doesn't seem to know how to act as a man. And
And
doesn't
that's
want
why
to.
they've left.
So this is why they're now outside the gate,
Yeah.
because they don't have any standing as
Yeah.
man, and they don't
Yeah.
want to be as man. They want to
They
be
don't have a
stated.
warrant.
They've stated that they want to be treated as persons, and persons have no authority over us. Simple as.
100%.
And this is what we're going to explain to the constables once we put them in common law jurisdiction as constables, where they are men,
Yeah.
whereas as police officers they're just corporate fictional roles, just the same as these boys.
Sweet.
So-
I'm not going to say anything to him.
Yeah, just be careful.
From young age, I always struggled to the idea of a system controlled by, kings and queens and presidents. I always struggled with that feeling, but I didn't know what it was until I realized I needed courage to look through the truth that is out there. And the more you look, the more you know that you don't know. And made me realize that the only way for us to thrive in life is to care about the truth. Even though if the truth is bad and gives you bad feelings, is something that you need to be aware of it so you can change. So at least you don't do it yourself. And for me, coming here, by living always in cities, I realized how much damage we do by just living.
An interesting point what Helen made as well. We can ask the police if Julian's taken the sign, and if it's in his car, then he's caught red-handed for
Yeah,
stealing
yeah.
property. So
Stealing.
We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Pouring incident.
Just turns over the people. Yeah.
If it's important enough to you, we'll do something about it right away. Oh, absolutely. That's all right.
So much going on.
Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
Yeah, good,
how are
thank
you?
Yeah, good, thank you.
Good, mate. Good. Glad to hear it.
We would like to maintain the social
Yeah, cool.
Yeah.
No, I understand.
We've got wonderful children on site.
Yeah.
It's happened today. It's really rather upset us.
Yeah.
Yeah, what has happened? Obviously, we've got a call from them.
Yeah.
I just wanted to get your side of
Yeah.
what's happened.
I believe someone would have been listening in on the phone at the time. We were talking to him quite nicely about him being a trespasser, having caused criminal damage on the gate, and we've taken the no trespassing sign we've taken off.
Right, okay.
We've actually notified him 3 times, no twice, but the 3rd time today, that we are actually involved in a lawful process where we claim, as man on earth, this land to be live on. And he claims, as the trustee of Sharpen Trust, that they, in their jurisdiction of law, have power and authority over us as man on earth. Now we know that's not true, and we need to make a court process for that to occur. They've decided to entirely negate that and not bother to even come to our invitation to speak, and has turned up at the end of the day outside of office hours with these people who have not got any paperwork to do. We asked them, they didn't have anything to say to us, and they have come in.
I know nothing about
they passed the sign there. This sign here, can you read it? That's a lawful notice, and they should have read it and understood it. You are now leaving England, and you're now entering the kingdom of heaven on earth. Now that, no English jurisdiction of law under any terms applies on this site at this point in time, until a court of law says otherwise. So they're actually acting. We are all living here right now. Yeah, I live here. You're living here right there right now.
What sort of, is it commercial premises?
God, no. This is a private group of people who have come out from the city to live on the land and just go back to nature, living in peace under the law of God.
What was it before? Is it barns and stuff like that?
I think there was an old milking thing, but it had been derelict for 10, 15 years, and these people have started to bring it back to abundance. They're growing food in it, they're living in the shelters and everything else. Yeah?
So it wasn't a residential premises before you got here?
No, I believe not. No. It was always a milking farm or some sort of agricultural, commercial. And again, we don't operate in the commercial world. We're not persons. We don't want to be adjudicated as persons in personal jurisdiction. Yeah? We're man on earth. It's the most powerful jurisdiction on earth. And we wish to stand in it and be recognised as man on earth. Yeah? Is that okay?
Yeah.
Lovely.
There is something as well. He's actually stolen the
trespass sign,
and it's like
which was actually hand drawn by a known artist and is worth considerable amounts of money if we wanted to. And he needs to give it back to us, and we believe he's actually got it in his car and he threw it over the hedge. So could you ask him to give it back to us, please?
Yeah, we'll see what I can do.
Thank you.
That would be very kind.
Bear with me a minute. Who's the best person to come and speak to? It's normally best we just...
Well, any of us, we're all together. You know, we all know what we're talking about.
Okay.
But, you know, I'm a man, so you can come and speak to me as man anytime you like.
Okay, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, brother.
Basically, you know how if you imagine like a derelict building that's been abandoned, and then the trees grow over it and the ivy grows up it, and slowly the concrete breaks under the pressure of nature and the wildlife returns to it. You know this scenario? I am nature, and I am here living on the land, which is where I live. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, boy.
Yeah. Spoke to me with his hat off. He approached me as a man, not a constable even. And I spoke to him as brother and man, and he got that. He's now gone to speak to Julian, and he's put his hat on to be official about it.
Yes,
I'm so pleased.
He's got his hat on. He knows, man.
You know, enough. They do. You know, the cops have been told about this time and time again now by people, and if we're civil and decent about it, they'll let us be with it. They don't want to get involved in what's, you know, a lawful process that's so outside of their kind of comfort zone, scope, pay grade or understanding that they're not going to involve themselves or be hostile in any way, and they're going to maintain the peace here today.
This community is now standing under universal jurisdiction, and we're here to heal the land. And for me, all I care about now is creating abundance for everyone, because this for me is family. And yeah, we don't want to, you know, we don't want to feed into that world anymore, this fake reality.
Hello.
Hello. Hiya. Brother. Could you just maintain the distancing thing?
Could you maintain your distance well then, please?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. So these gentlemen here are going to come to look at the electric. Okay, which apparently has been damaged and is broken into.
Apparently,
and they're going to make the electric safe.
That's not actually lawful in this instance. What we did is declare this piece of land out of England and into the kingdom of heaven on earth, which is what it is before England ever got here. So we need to have a proper court of law to process this and the claim against Julian, who's been trespassing against us for now some months and making ever more violent threats, and now trespassing and causing criminal damage and theft of property in order to force his will against these good people who have stood in peace and love.
Okay, I'm just going to be quite simple.
We are really looking to keep this peaceful and quiet.
These gentlemen are here because there is a problem with the electricity.
They are impersonation, and they are operating from a jurisdiction of law that doesn't account.
Right?
It doesn't account for it.
If
you won't be considered as a constable.
Who's the guy who's living
Are you a constable here today?
I am a constable, yes.
And so you're operating on your oath of office as a constable?
Yes, I am.
Yes, good.
Yeah.
So this is all a civil issue. Why would you be wanting to protect these people?
If there's electricity
with a wire apparently that's exposed. All right, and they're going to
I've
come.
no
and have
idea
a-
about that.
Okay,
We didn't
that's
ask
what
them
we
to.
can- Okay.
So
Well,
unless
we're gonna
we
come and look
invite
at
them
that
in,
now, right?
please, unless we invite them in, that would be a trespass against us, even
No,
by
so
you.
This is the land manager. Okay, he's in charge.
He's a
of the uptake.
personator. As a man, he doesn't own anything. Only in his
not an
role as
impersonator,
a
he's
trustee
the
or a
manager of
manager. That's personation in
Sir,
statutory
I'm gonna
law.
explain to you what's
You're a
gonna
common
happen.
law constable.
Sir, I'm going to
How
explain
can you
what's going to
protect
happen.
him?
You can listen to me or not.
But you're trying to
Are you
protect
gonna
him in
listen- are you gonna
impersonation,
listen-
brother.
Are you going to listen to me?
Well, I'll
Okay?
listen, but
okay. The civil thing of you being here, and if you've claimed squatters' rights, that's
no,
fine. That'll
no,
go
no,
through
no,
the
no, no.
civil- That can go through
we
the
are,
civil
we are
thing,
not.
right?
That's all personation. That's all in statutory law. We're not operating in
These
that
people here are
jurisdiction of
going to
law.
come
You
to
must
look at the
understand.
electricity power, all right, which they have a right to
No,
do.
they don't. Not in this instance.
Yes, they do.
We have given them warning and notice that they would be trespassing against us as man on earth if they enter. They think that this is England. We're declaring it not England.
Okay.
This is no longer England. English law does not apply here. Please
Yeah.
understand that. You will be trespassing against us, even you as constables. We relate to you only as man on earth. We do not give you right or authority to act against us here today.
I worked for the Sharpham Trust when the lockdown happened in February 2020, and we had a meeting about all the guidelines they brought in. And one of the things they were asking us to do was give or do our due diligence to the information in there and what they were asking us to do. So I did that. And I was looking in particular at the chemicals, the sanitizer sprays they were asking us to use. And in there was a chemical called ammonium chloride. And when I looked it up, the effects of it on the human body was it caused asthma and other lung diseases. So my question to all the staff in there was like, why I didn't want to use that spray. And I was saying to all the staff, why would they be recommending a product like this when there's a disease out there that's supposed to be attacking people's lungs? So it made no sense to me. I sent an email to the director of the Sharpham Trust, Julian Carnell, and he just didn't even acknowledge what I'd said on an email. But he did have a private chat with me in a tent while we were moving chairs. But again, he didn't seem to be concerned at all about it. And not only were they having sprays, so with the spray they were spraying it on every surface, every light switch, every door handle, banister, rail, everywhere anyone touched, and that was getting sprayed every time people left an area, multiple times a day. Anytime anyone touched anything, it was getting sprayed with ammonium chloride. And then to top that, which I thought was just insane, they got these fog machines which were going to fog out all of the bedrooms and tents in the camping area with this ammonium chloride solution as a fog, which went into a room, filled a room, and then settled on all of the surfaces and bedding and the pillows where people were going to sleep. So I couldn't in good conscience use these chemicals and spray it everywhere after doing my research and finding out what this chemical actually does to the biology, the human biology. So I resisted using it. I didn't use the chemicals, and then I continued to tell people that the reasons why I weren't using it. And then when the guests started coming back, I started to tell the guests as well, and I think I became a bit of an enemy at that point. But then moving on a bit, after the lockdown first hit, my immediate response was prepare for worst case scenario. So that is food shortage, power cuts, and people fleeing the cities, because I know how bad it was even 5 years ago, and with something like this COVID escapade going on, it was going to get a lot worse, and you don't have to be a genius to predict what's going to happen. So I immediately started to connect with other people who were seeing what I could see and starting to prepare for the same outcome. So that's what we're continuing to do. We're continuing to prepare for worst case scenario, food shortage, power cuts, and people fleeing the cities, because already the news, you can see they're not showing any of the protesting that's going on in all of the cities, and people have had enough, and it's going to get a lot worse before it gets better. So yeah, I think my personal role is to prepare the land for food growing and for people to come and help repair the damage that's been done over the past however many centuries, and start to rebuild the new paradigm and what we're going to be going into. And that new paradigm is a life of abundance and prosperity for everyone, not the few for the many.
They're going down to we're going down to the space.
We're not inviting them in.
There's an electricity cable that needs fixing, okay, and that's what's going to happen, all right?
Well, they would never have known that unless they trespassed against us. What you're effectively doing is trying to enforce a statutory jurisdiction against us, and we don't want it.
Listen.
Okay?
We're going to go down.
Have to give you
We're going to
authority
go down.
before
Western
you're allowed
power.
to act against us, or you're committing a trespass
I'm
yourself,
not
brother.
acting against you at all. But you can stand to one side.
Because
stand
these
to
people
one
are going to want to try and cut our electric off.
No, they're going to make it safe.
Our property returned to us.
We also want our property returned. They've stolen the sign.
Which property?
The sign that was on there has been taken and stolen.
We'll speak to you about them at the moment. We're just one thing at a time.
Well, actually, we want to know why Julian wanted to trespass against us in the first place. He had no right to come in and break the lock. Yeah.
We're going to go down to Western Power. All right, that's what we're going to do.
We need to make sure that this man is not coming in.
Think about what you're doing,
intimidating us. Yeah, just by turning up with these people when there's small children on site. This is an unlawful occasion. I think I might have to ask you for your personal names, brothers. And I really don't want to have to do that.
Definitely insurance details.
You are on your You are on your oath of office here today, and if you operate in statutory jurisdiction against us, or support their operations in statutory jurisdiction against us, you'll be committing a trespass and a common law crime of personation and jobbery yourself, because you'll be operating as not as a constable, but as a police officer, a separate role that requires our permission for you to act against us. We're not committing a breach of the peace. These people already have. We are asking you to prevent them from committing further breaches against our peace here today, brother. Would you not please consult with the superior on respect of the jurisdiction of law you're about to break? This is not England.
He's waiting for the keyword. I was in the outskirts of Manchester, and during COVID I couldn't even go out. Just the energy, the feeling, the fear that people are having, the chaos, the TV is just like, it got me to that point. It's like, I don't even care for where I'm going, how I'm going, when I'm going. I just need to do something about it. And for me, it was losing the values of the past, like career, you know, relationships, you know, everything is just like, you have to leave everything behind, so then nature understands you're ready and then gives it to you. And it seems that what happened to me, it happened to all of us. Everyone that gives up on everything and starts giving faith towards something that they really believe, then it's gonna happen. Or at least for us, it is all happening, so it's kind of a pattern. I couldn't basically stand anymore, so I packed one day during the daytime, and I decided to just start walking during the night. And I had one direction, which was the place that I felt that I could find what I wanted, and it's here. So I backpacked everything that I needed, my tent, my sleeping bag, and I started walking. And and then during 6 weeks of the journey coming down, I had the sense of pilgrimage. I have the sense of like, how I try to describe it is, instead of me walking, is like I was floating, because for me it was a spiritual journey. It got to a point where my senses kind of numbed down, and I was just like dragging my body. My spirit was dragging my body throughout the whole journey. My body didn't want to come, but my spirit was like, yeah, let's do it. And here I am, and yeah, now I'm connected with my body again, and it feels great to have both.
Indemnity insurance.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. First and foremost, we need their names and indemnity insurance details so that we know who they are, so that we can take claim against them too.
Yeah.
And then we go to the
Shall I
courts
get
tomorrow and we
the,
just invite them all into court to explain themselves. Right here, what happened to it? It wasn't yours. You weren't allowed to touch it.
And
Let
the
alone
photos
steal
of the
it.
children you took.
Could you give it back to us? Could you give it back to us, please?
Do you want to listen or
Well, you can answer his question first, no?
Well, you're going to explain your side of what you think's happening. We will listen to you in peace and love. It depends on what you say. We can't accept
We
anything.
just like the sign back, that's the main thing.
Answer where the sign is.
This is how we communicate in peace.
Okay. So we're just going to leave it. The concern that I have is what you've done is unsafe, and you've got children on site. Obviously, it's trust land.
You're not under our liability. We are not liable to you.
Carl, about what you've done and the safety of the kids. Okay? So,
That's real life. That's real life.
Bringing the kids to this.
Your
I'm going to leave it. Okay. But I am concerned about that. What you've done in that to the electricity supply is really, really unsafe.
It wasn't before you guys started stripping wires. And
I'm going to have to take that off, see what we've got under there, and we can decide what to do about that.
What I'd love, Julian, is if me and you sit down and have a cup of tea and we actually see what's going on here.
We're not in conflict.
And we can connect as men.
So we're not
real
gonna,
men. You know,
Maybe we become human again.
Yeah. I understand.
We're not going to come in and disconnect it because that would leave you with no electricity. Okay? So we're not going to do that. But I feel it's my responsibility to say to you that is really unsafe what you've done. Okay?
Right. You don't need to worry. We aren't under your liability.
The police don't have powers to come in and.
No, they don't. Of course they don't.
We know they don't.
Yeah.
We're not going to disconnect you completely.
That's it, yeah.
But
what was explained to us originally
was
there was an issue with
like that.
Well, we'll make it safe and we'll notify you when we've made it safe.
Thank you for your concern.
You accept that we've made it safe. Now, can we have the sign back, please? I mean, honestly, really, that's just childish.
We want
it's just a sign.
That's just childish.
You got that sign? There wasn't anything where we came in.
Oh, come on. On the gate yesterday.
Yeah, that was very obvious.
Come on.
You have
You have suspicion, though. Come on, it was right here.
Get us the sign. Show your true colours.
had a long chat with them.
Right.
Okay. So the western part of where they're showing the photos where their responsibility ends. They're saying it's safe.
Right.
Okay. Beyond that.
Well, then it's our liability to fix it. We'll fix it and make sure it's safe.
They had to remove a board to check that. Do you want that board put back up?
We would like to do that.
We'll be able to put right what they damaged for us today, and we'll be accepting. As long as they don't come back and do that again, especially not at this time of night. I mean, come on, it's not even honest.
Listen, what was reported to us was there was a problem with the power cable. Someone had cut the power cable, and the power cable was
dangling or something. No, that's just ridiculous.
Yeah.
So
In
he
that
lied
case,
to
we would
you.
have let them come in and repair.
No, what I'm
To
trying
get
to
you
say is,
here.
so
That's wrong.
Actually, we've got the whole thing on video.
Yeah.
right,
And I was putting the signs up as well last night.
In their expert opinion, because obviously they do this all the time, it's safe to their point. They are concerned about. They're concerned about from their onwards.
I worked in oil trades for 35 years. I'll make that safe immediately, and I know what it needs to do. So please, accept that we're responsible.
Yes, yeah, okay. I've seen the photos. I've seen the photos.
They did come in and make that damage. We already had it closed off, so it was safe, you know. So they just made it unsafe, took a photograph, and now they're making a complaint about it. And it's a complaint, not a claim. They don't have the right to claim against us.
Western Power,
but we will be claiming against
Western
them.
Power are saying they're concerned about the state of that wire. Right?
Okay.
But that's no different to me having plugging a load of stuff in my house.
And if the building inspectors come round, we talk to them about it.
I'm trying to say.
Exactly. You have been honourable today.
You know what I'm trying to say?
Bless you.
Right.
We're happy with that.
I'm happy with that. Yeah.
Can
you tell
Julian?
Julian?
Please,
I mean, you know,
Has he actually
be
taken
reasonable.
your son?
Yes, he
Yeah.
In common law, it's not an offence. That's the point. So, common law jurisdiction as a council, we should know that.
Unfortunately, we don't just deal in common law in this country.
Well, this is the point.
Okay.
No. If you want to go
I know
into
you
statutory, it
believe you
requires
declared
our
yourself as
permission to act in statutory. We don't give that permission. We do by the common law of
of the land, and we'll agree to disagree on this. But I'm just telling you how it is, all right? Somebody's obstructing.
That was a cable tie on our side.
Okay.
Look in the window. Yeah, look at his car.
That's a good idea. Yeah.
He's definitely got the sign in there. Helen, he's got the sign in his car.
I want to go and get the car back. He's took the sign. Bye, Julian. Bye, Julian.
Very quickly then when I went looking.
Yeah, no man, he probably knew.
That was getaway from a robbery. Of course he's going to drive fast.
Everyone stood the ground. Well done, guys.
You know, we really have got to make a stand against these lunatics who want to use the earth as their own personal profit machines and create a better future for the next generations to come. Otherwise they're going to be left with nothing, and they're going to be in a prison and living a life of God knows what. I don't know.
We want to get the land back up and running, and yeah, heal it for the whole of the community, and yeah, that's it. I don't know what else to say, babe.